Hi everybody, Bambo Kino here. Welcome to another edition of Tommy Chris TV. In the first segment of our show today, Tommy will be speaking with actor, musician Isaiah McKinnis-Colon, who's currently starring in the film The Outsider, which by the way is in production as we speak. So sit back, relax, enjoy the show.
Hello again, dear friends, and welcome to another edition of Tommy Chris TV. It's great to have you with us as always. Our guest today is Isaiah McKinnis-Colon. Actor, musician, visual artist, writer. The man, simply put, does it all. And here he is. Welcome to the show.
Glad to be on.
Tell us how you got started in acting. We met on the on location while you guys were filming The Outsider, and you are the lead actor. So tell us how that came about.
Well, my grandpa, he wrote the film, and
Now, your grandpa is Jose Colon.
Yes.
He's the manuscript writer, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. He wrote the film, and they originally had another guy that was going to be, he was going to be the main actor, and he dropped out. And so then I get the call, and he's like, hey, do you want to be a part of it? I'm like, heck yeah.
Sure,
Like,
it's a
why
great
not?
opportunity. Absolutely.
So,
So your goals as an actor, do you want a career in acting, or is it something is it like a personal satisfaction thing, or what?
well, I really enjoy doing it. I have a lot of fun. It's a way to express myself. By any means. I definitely want to pursue it and make it big eventually in the future. I want to get there, but
Well, good luck.
yeah.
It's a tough business.
Yeah.
What kind of acting do you like to do? Do you like? I mean, there's like several styles and types of acting, like the old school Stanislavski acting and the Meisner. There's all kinds.
Well,
Method acting. Lee Strasberg's method acting.
yeah.
Do you like method acting?
Well, actually, I'm really into horror movie. Like I love psychological thrillers, horror movies. It's stuff that I've been watching ever since I was little. So I want to be in something like that. Maybe something really dramatic. Which
A lot of
this
people
isn't-
like that stuff.
yeah,
It's very popular.
yeah. I mean, people like a sense of fear. People like fear, which it's really weird.
Yeah,
But-
it's intense. You sent me a note, and you asked me to ask you what characters you want to be. Do you want to be like, what do you mean by that? Spider-Man, Marlon Brando, Laurence Olivier, Superman, what?
Well, I love Marvel characters. I love DC. So
So that's basically what you meant by that?
yeah, I guess. I also, because I said I'm into horror and everything, I've always pictured being, like a creature, some kind of villain or somebody, just, I don't know, a killer in a movie.
Great. I'm glad
I know,
it's
right?
just acting, right? Now your experience with the other actors on the sets of The Outsider. Tell us a little bit about that. Are these experienced actors? Are these guys just kind of like amateurs that are volunteering to do the movie, or is it a mix?
Well, it is a voluntary movie, so you don't have Brad Pitt in the movie.
No,
but,
obviously not. No, no budget for that.
Yeah. But the actors are good. From what I've seen, I've had a lot of fun working with this guy Leroy, who's playing. You saw the scene the other day. He was
Leroy's the scumbag.
He is the scumbag.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I thought that was the scumbag.
Yeah. That's him.
Now, what is his background? Does he have a background in acting?
I don't believe so. I don't know if he's done.
Maybe he has a background as a scumbag, or what? So
Yeah,
does he fit into the role?
Possibly a background as a scumbag.
No offense,
He's,
Leroy. It's just a joke.
Yeah.
He's a scary-looking guy.
Yeah, he does a good job of that. He very friendly, cool guy. He's funny. We share ideas and how we want to say certain lines and everything. But he definitely plays the character well.
He did a good job.
So.
Unlike when he tackled you.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was a good fall, by the way. You did that very well. Like you pulled the fall. You went. It looked real, but I could tell at the very end you pulled yourself back up.
Yeah.
To soften the blow.
Right.
Right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's you gotta do what you gotta do. You gotta make it look as real as possible. You know,
Yeah.
if you're falling, you actually have to fall. I mean, that's
Yeah.
just it's part of acting.
It was a soft fall. It's like you pulled back
Good.
on it. And that's what you got to do not to get hurt.
Yeah. Essentially.
Yeah. You're also a musician. Did you bring a guitar today or no?
No, I did not.
You mean you're not going to perform?
I couldn't for the life of me.
Oh,
I'm a little sick today.
Oh.
Sore throat. But
All right.
anyways,
Tell us about your music.
I am it's a weird genre actually. I do psychedelic pop. I do psychedelic hip hop. So I kind of.
What's your primary instrument?
Piano, I'd say. Yeah. I've played piano since I was 9, 19 now, so it's about 10 years, right? And
You're only 19.
yeah, only 19. Yeah, I'll be 20 December coming up.
That's
so.
good. You're starting all this very young, and that's a good thing.
Yeah. So piano is my primary thing. I played guitar for about 8 years. So and there's harmonica, and I do a little bit of drums and mix of stuff. So.
That's good. Do you tell jokes too? Have you ever done any stand up or anything?
No. I mean,
no, I'm just no.
I could be clever on the spot sometimes.
Yeah,
just,
that's good. That's good.
I'm a stand up guy.
You're also an artist, a visual artist.
Yeah.
Tell us about that. What do you do for visual art?
I do video editing actually.
You write too. You write, and you have goals with your art and your writing, your music, your acting. You just want to do it all, right?
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well rounded. Is there any things that you don't like to do?
Wow.
Study.
Okay. Study.
You don't like to study?
So sometimes. It gets there. I don't know. I like to keep an open mind with pretty much everything.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I'm very active.
Do you find editing tedious sometimes?
Editing? Yeah, it can be.
It gets a little tedious.
Yes.
'Cause I do a lot of editing myself.
Yeah.
And it's not bad now, but when I first started editing some years ago, it was like, oh, God, this is, I wanted to jump out of my seat.
Right.
Go get some fresh air and take a walk or something.
Yeah. Well, if stuff starts like glitching and all that, and you're like, wait, why'd that happen there?
Yeah, computers. Computers. They really do have a mind of their own, and they do bizarre things at times. It's like restart. Thank God for the restart button.
Right.
Your inspiration. Where do you get your inspiration for all this wonderful art?
Okay, that's a good question. Well, musically, all kinds of different artists. I mean, I've been involved with different genres, folk. Like I said, right now I'm doing psych pop and hip hop, but I've done folk, rock, and all that. So I got an inspiration from like Led Zeppelin. My favorite band currently is Glass Animals. I don't know if you ever heard of them.
No, I'm sorry, I haven't. I don't keep up with, the newest, the latest, and the greatest, and all that stuff. I just no time for it. But I'm sure it's there's good ones out there.
Yeah,
there's real good ones out there. It's just impossible for me to keep up with it.
Yeah.
I probably should stay on top of that a little bit more. But being a musician myself, I should stay on top of it. But too much going on,
Yeah, no, it happens.
Now, I wanted to ask you, more than recognition, are there any your goals past being recognized as an artist? Do you want to make a lot of money, or do you want to help other people, or do you want to do what?
Um, well, my ethics, thinking about it, I do not really care as much about money. Maybe later, but
You will.
yeah, yeah, eventually. Um, yeah, at the moment, though, music wise, I just want to convey a message. Really, I want to get an audience dancing. I want people to enjoy the music and learn something from the lyrics, from the sound of it.
Do you see yourself on a stage at a concert, like hopping around like Beck does,
Yeah,
and guys like
I
that?
mean,
You like Beck?
I've done that yeah, I like Beck. Yeah, yeah, I haven't listened to them for a while.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, at a couple open mics, I've danced around on stage. I'm getting ready to set up some shows though.
So you like to put on a show. You don't like to just stand up there and play. You put on
Yeah,
a show too.
exactly.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Not too many guys do that.
Yeah, well, I've been dancing since I was a little bit too.
Bruno Mars does a nice show.
Yeah.
You don't have to
definitely
necessarily
does.
like his music, but he puts on a great show.
Yeah.
He's fun to watch.
Yeah.
And that's what you do.
Essentially, yeah, just not quite like Bruno, but
Well, yeah, well, not too many are like him. I mean, he's
Right.
quite a performer.
right.
Not to say that you couldn't do that if you put your mind to it, but
Yeah.
it's not your thing. You do other things, right?
Yeah, yeah.
If you want to talk, you want to tell us very briefly, what the plot of The Outsider is.
Oh, okay. Well, it's a Christian film, which sounds very lighthearted, but it follows this young guy. He's in this Amish community. He's Amish, and he gets kicked out of the community because he sees the bishop doing something very bad, and the bishop, he just to
And that
protect
thing
his
that's
secret.
very bad is what? He's coming onto a girl or something
yes,
like
yes,
that?
he's molesting.
The bishop
girls
does
and the-
this?
Yeah,
Or,
yeah.
or the scumbag does it?
The bishop. Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, the bishop of the community, and to protect himself in the secret, he convinces the young guy's father to kick him out of the community because he's already a little bit defiant, whatever. He just comes up with this excuse. So his father, they kick him out, and that's basically what happens from there. I don't want to give too much away.
Well,
but-
yeah, I wish we had a clip to show people.
Yeah.
You didn't bring a clip, did you?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, good luck with the film,
Yeah.
and
Thank
good
you.
luck with your career, and thanks for coming by.
All right.
And
thank
always
you.
come back and see us again. Next time, bring a guitar.
I will.
'Cause
And
you-
I'll
oh,
bring
by the
my
way,
voice too.
Here, you listen to music in your car?
Here,
have a CD.
Yes. Why not? Cool. Sweet.
Oh, 10 original numbers.
Okay.
I used to do cover CDs, but I don't do that. I just do all original music now.
Okay. Good. Good. Yeah. I'll give it a listen.
All right. For Isaiah, McKinnis-Colon, I'm Tommy Chris. Great to see you guys, if I could see you, and great to have you with us. Till next time, ciao.
Thanks for staying with us. In this next segment of the show, Tommy talks with music producer Robert Pickard. Robert has an impressive list of hits on the smooth jazz charts with Pieces of a Dream, and on the R&B charts with Roger Troutman and Zapp. It's great stuff. Stay with us.
Our guest today is Robert Pickard. They call him Boots. That's his nickname.
Hello.
And welcome to the show, and thanks for coming by, man.
Thank
Great
you.
to see
Thank
you.
you for having me.
Yeah, you actually have a studio right next door to us. So
Yes, we are
we-
neighbors.
Yeah, we've been meaning to get you on for a long time.
Yeah.
Now, you give us a little history, your background. When did you get started in recording? How did it happen, and all that stuff?
Well, I got started in recording, I would say, about 2008.
Uh-huh.
I started going to YSU. I went through the audio engineering program. I did that, and then in the meanwhile, I had started working with Zapp. I met them through a friend of mine who was doing their show at a club in Liberty.
Robert, not what's his last name? Zapp.
Roger Troutman.
Troutman.
Yeah,
Roger
Roger
Troutman,
Troutman,
not
yeah.
Robert.
Yeah,
Roger.
but I learned, I got put on by Lester Troutman, which is his brother.
Yeah. Now Roger died, didn't he?
Yes, yeah, that's
He
why.
died in a freaky. Was a shooting or something like
Yes.
that? It was,
Mhm.
it was real. I read about it once.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah.
it was strange
Yeah.
how it went down. But anyway, and you're also connected with Pieces of a Dream.
Yes.
Did you engineer, produce for them, or
Actually, I engineered and mastered their greatest hits album in 2014, but I wrote on their first one. It was called "In the Moment," so I co-wrote 2 songs on there with James Lloyd, the legendary pianist.
yeah?
And the one song that I co-wrote was "Stepper's Delight," and that actually scored us a Billboard #1.
Now, how did you hook up with Pieces of a Dream?
Actually, it was actually very funny. One of my best friends happens to be his wife's cousin
Oh,
and first cousin. So he had been telling me that he wanted to hook me up with James, but James was always on the road. And, at the time I was doing a lot of work, working with Zapp and, doing a lot of writing and stuff, trying to sell music. And then one 2012, towards the end, everything lined up. The stars aligned. We got together, and he came to my house studio and he saw what I was doing, and he said he liked it. And then he invited me to start, writing with him, and we wanted to see what we could put down and if anything would stick.
so now you mentioned being on the road with Zapp.
Yes.
In what capacity? Were you keyboards?
Well, I was just doing sound.
doing sound.
Yeah, yeah.
But you're a keyboard player by trade, right?
Yeah,
Or-
keyboard player. Yeah.
So you were on the road doing sound with Zapp.
Yeah.
What was that like?
You know what? I would say I learned a lot about the actual sound game from being around those legends. Because, like, say, depending on where we were, like, there was one time where the power just went out. And I learned a lot, just from dealing with those instances. And, because it's a high pressure thing when people have paid you $25, $30 a ticket, and you have a room full of people and the room just goes black, and you have to be the ones that know how to figure it out. And
yeah.
it was really cool. But like I said, I want to give a big shout out to Lester Troutman and Lester Jr. and the rest of the guys. I want to thank them for the opportunity because, without them, that was my first injection into, big time music.
Now, is Zapp still active?
Oh yeah. They're touring all the time. Like I talk to them on Instagram and stuff like that.
So now Lester has his son in there too. He's
Yeah,
working.
Lester's son is the full-time engineer. So he and
Okay.
I work together. I was in school just finishing up my sound engineering program, and at that time we just hooked up, and me and him got along really well.
Roger had that unique. He was one of the pioneers with the vocoder.
The talk box.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Video Soul, and it makes you feel good. Yes, it does. Don't you believe it?
That brand of soul and funk. To me, the music, especially when you're talking the '70s and the '80s, and that was love music. And true soul is about love, and I think that's what's missing from music today. Honestly,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You got that right.
Yeah.
WZAK. Remember that
Yeah.
station?
Yes,
They did a
I
lot
do.
of his stuff
Oh yeah.
back in the 80s.
Oh yeah,
So you went from Zapp right to Pieces of a Dream.
exactly. Yeah, it's under a year, honestly.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
So you mentioned to me a few days ago that you're doing your own project now.
Yes.
What's
actually,
that about?
Right now, it's going to be a neo soul project. Right now, like I am doing the tracks that I'm working on now are tracks by a producer that I really like. His name is Jay Dilla. He was set to be one of the biggest producers in that industry at the time, and he had an untimely death. But his music, like the way that he thinks, it was like he didn't quantize anything, so everything was natural.
Mm-hmm. Like the old days.
Oh
man.
yeah,
Old school.
yeah. Oh yeah, straight old school. and he played multiple instruments.
Yeah.
So that was, to me, that was phenomenal. And
What do they got going on out there? A convention or what?
that's upstairs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now he passed.
Yeah, he was killed actually coming out of the studio. They were, I guess, they never really said why, But you know, it was one of those things where
He was killed. He was shot.
He was shot. He was shot.
Just like a Run DMC thing.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, and
How old a man was he?
Oh, he was. I think he was 30 at the time.
Wow.
Yeah, he was 30, and
Young life cut
yeah,
short.
and he wasn't even into anything. The only thing he did was his love of music, and
He was in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Exactly.
Somebody, was it a mistaken identity thing? They thought he was somebody else? Or,
You know what? They never really explained it,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, because they said they knew he wasn't into drugs, they knew he wasn't into anything. They think it might have been something had to do with business, and a person was trying to get him to do something, and he wouldn't do it. You know, and that happens. Yeah,
Sure.
Yeah. So.
The mob used to run like that in the old days.
Yeah.
You know, you had to, you had to sign. You worked at a club for the mob. Excuse me. Back in the day, you had to sign an agreement that you wouldn't work anywhere else within,
Oh, yeah,
whatever,
competition.
25-mile radius or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
But I guess those things still happen. I guess
Yeah.
That's unfortunate that a young talent like that is gone. But plus, you guys were going to work together, weren't you?
Well, I never had a chance to meet him honestly because
Oh.
he was already gone before I started.
Oh,
doing
I
this.
see.
Yeah.
But you just kind of he kind of gave you inspiration
Oh yeah,
to do
he
your.
gave. Yeah, I mean, like anybody who really does jazz or soul music or R&B or even hip hop, he was one of the guys that he called because, like I said, he had no ceiling on his music. There was no ceiling. Like if you said, "Hey, I want you to do some rock," he could do it. I want you to do some jazz, he could do it. There was
Versatile.
Oh yeah, and I take a lot of that from him, because that's one thing about my production. That's why I focus more so with the instrument part, because the sample part, like even though he did do a lot of sampling, oh yeah, that man was a monster on piano and Rhodes.
Great.
So and that to me is what separated him from a lot of producers at that time.
Now, does he have stuff out there that we can go and listen to?
Oh yeah. Jay Dilla has like they actually have beat albums. Like if you can go on YouTube, I mean you can purchase them. But like he's worked with so many groups. I mean, like remember this one of the songs that I love that he did with Tupac. He did a remake of What You Won't Do for Love.
Yeah, the Bobby Caldwell too.
Exactly, but he did it. He did his own remake of it in a more of a hip hop fashion. But that was one of Tupac's biggest songs.
Turn it up loud.
91, 89 time frame. Yeah, but
Okay.
yeah.
Tupac would have been around then.
Oh yeah.
Not much long after that,
not
but
much long after that. Yeah, that's
but
true.
he was around.
Yeah.
McKinnis-Colon. How did
Nickel.
that happen for you?
Honestly, that happened. That was a thing that was hooked up between James Lloyd, because he does a lot of writing and touring with him.
Oh, okay.
So Nico, we were writing some stuff, and he was doing an album at the time, and the song that we did for him is called "Gotta Keep It Moving." He got to number 4 on Billboard, and then number 1 and number 2 on the jazz charts, the Alan Kepler charts.
I see.
So
yeah, he's been hot on the charts. I've looked up the smooth jazz charts, and Coleon's on there a lot.
Oh yeah.
He's hot right now.
Yeah. Oh, he's been hot for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm behind the times.
Yeah.
I'm lagging behind. I'm not. I don't look at the charts a lot, But when I want to download something, sometimes I'll go to and listen to some tunes on the smooth jazz charts. Then I pick the songs I like.
Yeah.
And then I download them.
Yeah, because on James Lloyd's project, I also got to have Najee play on some stuff that I co-produced, and Gerald Albright, Grammy-nominated Gerald Albright.
Oh, he's great.
Yeah.
He's, if not the best, one of the best.
Yeah, and that song, like on James Lloyd, is called "No Holds Barred."
Excuse me.
And he got on there, and then there's a part where him and James Lloyd is going back and forth, and just to watch that being created, and there were points when James Lloyd's hands were going so fast you couldn't even see him.
Wow.
You could not see, it was like
crazy.
a blur. Yeah.
That happened with me one time with Chick Corea. I saw Chick Corea in a theater in the Round way back in the 70s when he was with the Return to Forever.
Okay.
And I sat right like Chick Corea would have been about 5 feet over that way. I sat right behind him, and you could see his hands, and his hands were a blur. I mean, he could play so fast with both hands going up and down the keyboard like this. You know, I was just simply amazed by guys that can do, can do that stuff.
Then, of course, James Lloyd has this thing where he blindfolds himself and plays backwards. Like he goes around the front of the keyboard, mid-song, the guy's holding a blindfold, you have to guide him around her, and he starts playing a song backwards.
For any particular reason?
It's just one of his show things that he...
Oh, he does it during the show?
He does it during the show, yeah.
Like Jimi Hendrix used to put the guitar behind
Exactly, yeah. I mean, he's blindfolded playing backwards.
Yeah, show off.
Hey,
what a show off.
You got it flying, that's what I say.
Yeah. That's great that they can do stuff like that. It's great for the show, too.
Yeah.
It's very entertaining, Now, when you get material, they record it somewhere else, and they send it to you for, what, sweetening?
Well, no, honestly, this was material that we created.
Oh, okay.
So he and I, we would get together.
Where, over here? Next door?
Sometimes here or in his studio, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and we would get together, and then we would put the song together, and because a lot of times, a lot of the industry guys are just looking for, good material for their projects.
So what did they do the Colon stuff?
Oh, we did that at his studio.
You're talking about his, meaning James?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we did that in his.
Where's he at?
Well, but
Cleveland?
No, he was in Canfield.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah. So we did that.
So Colon went to Canfield to do this, or he sent?
Well, he came. Well, I know some of it he sent out, and some of it Nico came in.
Oh, okay, great. Now he's got an actual, like a building studio, or is it in his house or something?
Well, it's a part of his house, but it's not a average studio.
Okay.
No, it's nothing average about it.
Yeah, I would imagine he's got some great gear in there.
Oh yeah.
So what else is on the horizon for you?
Well, what I'm hoping for, what we were talking about recently, starting to work with these movies because, I did do the one scored the movie Running, with David Walker because he's part of the Youngstown Film Coalition, and then when we had that meeting the other week, so we're hoping that both you and I get to work on that.
That would be wonderful. I'd love that. Yeah. I do hope we get together. And as a matter of fact, the young actor that's in The Outsiders that David is directing now was here a few minutes ago. He interviewed and he well, you met him.
Yeah,
you met him. Okay,
exactly,
I forgot that you met him. But I hope that does happen, and I want to wish you the best of luck and continued success, my man.
Thank you. Same to you.
And being right next door, we're going to enjoy it all, man. Yeah. All right. For Robert Pickard, and they call him Boots. You can call him Boots if you want. He doesn't mind. And Tommy Chris, till next time, ciao.